And at the time, I didn't realize that until I started exploring spirituality and I started like the stuff I learned in Catholic school. But maybe they embedded that desire to look within and to want the path of the spirituality. And I'm just circling back to what is familiar to me since they taught elements of spirituality in Catholic school. That's heavy too. Okay. Finally, when someone hurts us, we may feel victimized. You did this to me is the experience of isolation, emphasizing our polarities. However, when you discover that you have that same tendency or sometimes act in the same way, the experience becomes one of connection. I am like that too. Does not excuse abuser, but it helps us find a path to compassionate communication and, yes, path to communication and reconciliation. Yes. Who was asking about reconciliation? Wait, it was how did I forget his name already? Cool Cool. Cool Cool was asking about reconciliation. Yeah, this is good because when someone hurts us, like our first instinct is often to feel victimized. And I mean, that's understandable. You did this to me. That makes sense. But the experience of being wronged can create an emotional isolation. It creates this polarity. You're the offender and I'm the victim. And it shuts the door on dialogue and it keeps us stuck in blame. And the ego loves this because you don't have to grow. When you're stuck in this victim state, there's no growth in there. You're just a wounded person. So I think something transformative happens in us and in your healing journey when you can say, I may not have done exactly what you did, but I also acted in ways that were unkind. I was also impatient. I was also dismissive or controlling. And I'm like that too. But that does not excuse abuse, just to make things clear. It does not deny any of these things, but it softens the edges because sometimes we can be very righteous. It reminds us that we share this common human struggle. We all struggling with our ego. We're all struggling with imperfections. And, from there, what he's saying is that we can have compassionate communication and reconciliation. All of that becomes possible. I don't know. I feel like, you know, these are the conditions for healing instead of retaliation. So, how y'all doing? Okay, in your journal, how can we turn this into a journal? In your journal, I'd like for you to think of a moment where you felt hurt in a relationship without minimizing your pain. Reflect on whether you have acted in a similar way in a different context. Think about how you reacted. What shifts in you when you acknowledge that shared human tendency? What do y'all notice? Y'all can write that in your journals. And then you have 2 weeks, y'all. Y'all have 2 weeks. I'm gonna be asking, y'all gotta do your homework because I'm gonna be asking for your homework. Um, what do y'all think? Anybody, any questions? I am not going to be back next week. Next week, I'm going to be in Ghana. So let's see if there are any questions. Anybody have questions? A time when you were hurt in a relationship? Yes.